Here's the part nobody wants to admit. Stardom in the WNBA isn't only about points. It's gravity. It's who moves cameras, who moves crowds, and who bends the league's calendar around their games. Caitlin Clark already bent it. But on April 14th, 2025, Paige Bueckers went #1 to Dallas, and a 5-month race quietly started between the money, the moments, and the myth. 2 dates told the story before the summer even ended. April 6th, when Paige finished her UConn career with a championship that once eluded her, and August 21st, when the league announced it had already broken the single-season attendance record with weeks to spare. Those receipts are the frame. The question is what fills it. Can Paige Bueckers compete with Caitlin Clark's Stardom? Let's set the stakes in plain language. Stardom decides coverage, coverage decides scheduling, scheduling decides casual fans, and casual fans decide the money. That chain is why the first 12 seconds matter. Clark is already a ratings guarantee with a historic Nike deal and a social footprint that dwarfs most pro teams. Paige enters the league with a national title, a monster college audience trained by years of UConn primetime slots, and a #1 pick that hands her immediate usage, minutes, and touches in a major American market. If we're talking about a race, we're not asking who's better today. We're asking who can become unavoidable. Start on Clark. The receipts pile up fast. Her rookie year was a broadcast rocket. Networks stacked million-view games. Arenas upgraded to NBA buildings to meet demand, and the effect jumped from a headline to a league-wide operating reality. By late August this year, attendance records were gone. Indiana's home dates were appointment basketball. The average fan who doesn't watch nightly still recognized Clark's logo, her step-back range, and the fact that she turned routine regular season games into events. Add the headline number, a multi-year, 8-figure Nike deal with a signature shoe path, and you see why rival front offices and TV partners treat her as a rising media property, not just a guard who can pull up from the logo. Now point the camera at Paige. Her timing is elite. She didn't just arrive as a celebrated prospect. She arrived stamped as a champion. She came off a postseason where she played the best two-way basketball of her college career, leading, scoring, facilitating, and closing. That matters for casuals, more than we admit. Titles flatten arguments. They tell your aunt who doesn't watch hoops that you're the real thing. When Dallas called her name at #1, it did 2 things immediately. It gave the Wings a face and gave the league a clean, marketable counterweight to Clark without forcing a villain. Paige isn't a foil. She's a parallel headline. So can Paige compete with Clark's scale? Let's test it by buckets. Moments, markets, metrics, and money. First, moments. Stardom grows when a player creates clips that your timeline can't escape. Paige delivered the cleanest kind, a single game detonation. A 40-plus night as a rookie, with big shot making and the aggression that answers every can she impose at the pro level question in one cut down. Those nights are algorithm fuel. They show up in your feeds without the broadcast. They become theme music for the next 2 weeks of debate shows. Moments aren't everything, but they're the launch pad. What about markets? Indianapolis has leaned into Clark with a near-perfect on-the-ground operation. Ticket plans, arena presentation, saturating local media, and building a national touring act whenever the fever hit the road. Dallas is different. It's a larger market with more sports competition and less automatic air cover. That cuts 2 ways. On one hand, there's attention competition with the Cowboys and the NBA. On the other, Dallas gives Paige access to one of the country's most powerful corporate ecosystems, a deep local sponsorship pool, and the ability to convert casual fans through proximity and prestige. If the Wings stack wins and turn Paige's nights into events, the ceiling is enormous. Metrics next. Viewership and attendance tell you who drives the national conversation. Clark's games have been the top of the chart markers for 2 seasons in a row. Paige is entering from behind in that race, but she has something else. A built-in national audience from UConn that understands the rhythm of Big Thursday and Monday showcase windows. That audience is trained to show up. If Dallas leans aggressively into national windows and sells Paige's appointment viewing against the biggest brands, Liberty, Aces, Fever, that UConn audience can be converted into WNBA regulars. Don't overlook the social layer. Clark's following sits in the multi-million bracket. Paige is right behind, hovering just under that line, and rising after draft night in her early pro run. Social velocity matters because it sets the floor for every sponsorship conversation. Money finally. Clark's Nike contract set the high bar. It's a confirmation of what the market believes she is, guaranteed attention. For Paige, the money question is both simpler and more volatile. She already proved she's a marketer's dream in college. As a pro, the deals scale with two variables: Dallas's on-court trajectory and her ability to deliver big-game moments in national slots. If she anchors a playoff push within 2 seasons and keeps logging highlight nights, she becomes a brand battle the entire sneaker world cares about. If she keeps stacking clean efficiency, leadership quotes, and late-game shot-making, that conversation speeds up. Now the counter case. Some people will say Clark is too far ahead. The rating records are real. The attendance charts are real. The shoe deal is real. And they'll argue that even if Paige plays out of her mind, the marketplace can't hold 2 megastars at once. But the women's game is expanding so fast that the old, one-face model is already outdated. Attendance records were broken with weeks left in the season. Multiple franchises are selling out in larger buildings. Expansion teams are drawing NBA-sized crowds. That environment doesn't crown a single queen. It supports a tier. If Paige keeps delivering box office possessions, she doesn't need to take anything from Clark to grow. The total pie is getting bigger, not smaller. Here's the mid-video reveal, the thing that changes the frame. Stardom isn't just an off-court race for followers and endorsements. It's a lineup story. When Paige is on the floor, Dallas runs cleaner offense and turns dead possessions into points. That's what casuals feel, even if they can't diagram it. The rhythm changes. The late clock bailout shots are cleaner. The reads hit earlier. That affects watchability. And watchability is the currency of modern Stardom. You can't fake it across a whole fourth quarter. When one player makes the game look inevitable, the camera stays. When the camera stays, the numbers follow. So what would it take for Paige to fully compete with Clark's gravity? 3 steps. First, stack national TV showcases against Clark, the Liberty, and the Aces and treat them like mini-finals. Don't hide. Aim the spotlight right at the biggest nights and feed the narrative. Second, convert Dallas into a habit market. That means theme nights with receipts attached. Sell the 40-point game as a recurring possibility and build a brand around Paige nights. Third, secure a signature marketing moment by year 2. That could be a shoe, an international tour stop, or a playoff series where she averages 20+ and closes 2 games in crunch time. You can't control all of it, but you can create the stage and trust the player. We also have to be honest about the pressure. Clark's burden isn't just the defense. It's the nightly expectation that her games change the league's bottom line. She's navigated it with poise. For Paige, the pressure is different. It's living up to the UConn standard in a pro room that doesn't care about banners. It's earning respect possession by possession, while the city compares you to superstars across other sports. That pressure can harden a player, or it can make every night a referendum. The great ones lean into it. Let's talk basketball for 30 seconds, because this part matters. Paige's game translates because it's built on footwork, timing, and decisions. The handle is tight, but it's the pace that kills you. She never looks rushed. She manipulates help, lives in the elbow pockets, and buries you with soft touch mid-range when you take away the rim. On switches, she can slip angles for layups. Against drop, she eats the dotted line. And when you trap, she sees the skip one pass early. That's pro Stardom fuel because it travels. The shot doesn't go cold as easily when you have counters. And the counters play on highlights when the moment's loudest. For Clark, the game's translation is already proven. 30-foot pull-ups in transition. Hit-ahead lasers that create layups with a flick of the wrist. Manipulating stagger screens to force impossible choices. She made the league speed up. She made coaches rethink scouting reports built over a decade. That kind of influence is rare, and it's part of why her star shines, even when she's not on the floor. People show up for the possibility of the play they've never seen before. So where does that leave us? In a league that just proved it can support multiple tentpoles. The right question isn't whether Paige can catch Clark. It's how fast the league can build rails to carry both. If the schedule, the broadcast partners, and the teams commit to 2-star nights, we could get a monthly cycle where Clark owns one weekend and Paige owns the next, and both lift everyone around them. That's not wishful thinking. The receipts say the audience is there. Here's the forecast. Scenario A. Dallas finds enough defense and shooting to turn Paige's usage into wins. She takes Rookie of the Year, and her second season opens with a Dallas sellout streak that forces national windows and signature brand moments. The star race narrows in a year, not 3. Scenario B. Dallas rebuilds slower, Paige keeps putting up elite numbers but the team lags, and Clark maintains a comfortable lead in ratings and revenue. In that case, the race stretches. It doesn't disappear. The league still benefits because the conversation never sleeps. What should we watch next? 3 things over the next 8 weeks. 1. Paige's crunch time possessions against the top 3 defenses. Is she dictating coverage and getting to her spots? 2. Dallas's home attendance trend line. Are Paige nights converting casuals into repeat buyers? 3. The national TV selection matrix for late season and opening month games next year. Do we see Wings dates cluster in premium slots? If the answers tilt yes, the Stardom gap gets shorter in real time. Let's end with the simplest truth. Stardom is a moving target. It grows with wins, it grows with highlights, and it grows when the story feels bigger than a box score. Clark gave the W a rocket boost. Paige just added a second engine. Can Paige Bueckers compete with Caitlin Clark's Stardom? Yes, if Dallas turns nights into moments, moments into habits, and habits into numbers. The league's record crowds say there's room for both to be huge. And if they meet on a Sunday with a playoff berth on the line, cameras will do the simplest math of all. They'll go where the gravity is strongest. Right now, that's Clark's universe. But Paige is already bending space.